going on, everybody? This is Bullock AKA Hothead, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Autism Speaks. Today's topic is mostly about autism, but it's mostly, the other topic is the coronavirus and the pandemic itself. It's been 3 years since the coronavirus pandemic, dominated my state, Virginia, my country. 3 years ago, when I was about 17 years old, I was 17 years old when the pandemic began. I stood home for about 7 months 3 years ago, and just before and since I turned 18 years old, as a young adult to me, myself, and everybody, it was a wasted time. 2020 was a wasted time to me, because of the pandemic. I've been missing out on, a couple things, a bunch of occasional things, a bunch of things I've done on occasions, since the pandemic, in the past I've been, when I was younger, I couldn't go shopping with my family, I couldn't go on field trips at school, I couldn't go to the movies, I couldn't go anywhere to eat, I've been constantly wearing masks all the time that my dad bought me, my family, I couldn't go to the Pilot House on Saturday nights during the COVID-19, COVID-19 kind of sucks, it really does suck, and it sucked, the pandemic was, it's a piece of crap to me, the coronavirus is really fake, what I learned about the pandemic was, the pandemic was fake. It was like a piece of crap, it was really fake, but turned out to be the real deal. Well, it's all over to me this year, and this year I'm still going for a whole year without wearing a mask or two, and that's what I'm doing. That's the most important thing I'm going to do and still do this year before next year's another year without a mask, and it's great. I've been spending a few weeks of summer school since 2020 to 21 school year, at St. Josephville in Richmond. I've been constantly wearing masks all the time, over and over again, 2020 to 22, it's great, before I gave them up last year. Last year was great. I wanted to give up wearing a mask by last year, that's what I wanted to do last year, so I couldn't afford to go back on field trips during the pandemic, just because there was coronaviruses everywhere in public places. I spent the rest of my school year 2020 at 18 years old, without field trips. Then 2 years ago, when I was about 18 and 19 and 21, 2 years ago, I've been for a whole year of school without field trips, but I've been on virtual ones, and I didn't like wearing masks. It was a complete waste of time to me, I've been through 2 years of summer school from 2020 to 21 without field trips. Sucked. It was the worst school year ever. 2020, during the rest of the school year during the pandemic, was a waste of time to me because of the pandemic. I've been constantly wearing masks by January to early February last year. It was tough. And during one day of summer school last year, I've been wearing masks too. And wearing a mask during the pandemic is probably the worst thing I ever done. As a person on the autism spectrum, I did not like the pandemic. What I wanted to do is go back to a public place. That's what I wanted to do 2 years ago. And I've been constantly wearing masks in public places 2 years ago during coronavirus. It really sucked. The coronavirus really did go away to me. So, like I said, last year I've been spending the rest of my year without wearing a mask or two. That was great. So this year, I'm going for a whole year, still this year, without wearing a mask. Just to me. Myself and everybody, the whole family. And I'm still going for a whole school year without wearing a mask. That's what I'm doing. That's the most important thing I am also doing at St. Joseph's Villa in Richmond. So, next year by 2024, I'm going for another year without wearing a mask. During the Postdemic era, and I am still doing that stuff. It's amazing. You know what? I am getting ready, to start making new episodes of the Autism Speaks podcast by the rest of summer, just before fall begins. And I only have, 11 months left in the villa this year. The next month's 10 months left in the villa. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you so much for listening to my show, a new episode of Autism Speaks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope there's going to be a new episode coming up this August, this month. So, hope you have a very great day. Thanks for joining us. This has been Autism Speaks. Thanks for listening. Have a very great day. Have yourselves a very great day. Alright? Bye-bye.